How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have Babie Julez with us tonight. She can say her name, what she does, all that jazz.
Hi, I'm Babie Julez. So nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. Want to start out by saying I know one of your live bandmates is Guy from the band Idle Wave. I've known Guy for quite a while. So when I saw he was in this band, I was like, I have to obviously ask you to come on. So much love, and Guy, I imagine you'll be watching this. So miss you, man. Come back on. Would love to have you back on. But the first question I have for you, how did you start out in music? I kind of went through a little bit of stuff on your YouTube channel, but how did you start out? Has a band always been something that you've wanted to do, or wanted to kind of find the middle ground between the two of being like a solo artist and then having like a band live?
So I had a very musical childhood. I've been singing and acting since I'm 4 years old. My dad was in a band. My
Oh, very
mom was
cool.
so that's kind of something that I've been surrounded by since I was very, very young. But it wasn't until my parents heard me singing in my room that we realized that singing was something that I liked to do and that I could possibly be good at.
Hmm.
And after that, I started doing theater. And it wasn't until high school that I started writing, though. But
Hmm.
I've sang all my life, yes. But writing came later when I kind of I was going through a rough time, and that's how I coped.
Sure.
And I recorded it with a friend of mine in his bedroom. And I actually got introduced into this huge world because of Chris Russo of Highwind. I was working at a pizza place, and he came in one night and gave me one of his QR cards.
Oh,
And
wow.
so I DM'd him when my little like bedroom project came out. And I was like, hey, like if you have any advice, like if you want to listen to it, let me know what your thoughts are. Like I'd love to chat. And we started talking a lot more and hanging out, and he introduced me to like some people that work at DIM as well as Connor and Guy, and I kind of just like was introduced into that world through him.
Hmm.
And it kind of exploded after that, and I started to collaborate a lot more and meet more people and do more things and play more shows, and now I have an album out, and now Guy, Connor, and Samir are in my band, and I couldn't be more excited about all of this new stuff that's already out as well as the stuff that we're working on now. Uh, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I've always wanted to be in a band, and I feel like right now I have like the best people to be doing that with. So I'm just really grateful.
That's awesome. Also, shout outs to Chris. I love Chris. I've been working with him for quite a many years as well. So always love to give him a shout. But I kind of kept in touch with what you guys were doing. Also, shout outs to another person, Chris Kunchak. I know he's
Oh,
just chef's
the
kiss.
king,
He is the
the
king. So I gotta give him major salutes. He's a wonderful guy. So I always love giving him the shouts. But
king.
um, I went back and listened to some of the stuff on YouTube, and I'll leave a link below for everybody to go check it out as well. But the first video that I think I watched was I believe it was the one with Idle Wave in it, which is To Lose,
Okay.
and then I went back and checked out like Problem Child, and then today I know, or yesterday you guys posted Up Again, which
Yeah.
was really cool, and just listen to all the different songs. And I'm always very curious on like how albums are probably put together, and like how the songs are structured out, and every song has like a similar ish vibe, but everything kind of goes in a different direction from what I would
Yeah.
imagine it to go, and I love that. So for me, it was really cool to kind of listen through, I would imagine, most of the record by now, and kind of get just the most broad sense of what you do. Who kind of influenced you to start out singing, and then who influences your style more currently now?
Singing, I would have to say, when I was younger, my parents hooked me up with a vocal coach. Her name was Miss White, and
Very cool.
uh, she actually came to my album release show, which
Aw.
was so nutty and so nice. And she always, you know, challenged me and pushed me to do things that I like didn't think that I could do, stuff like that. And even though I don't have vocal lessons as of current, when I am recording, I'll keep her in the back of my mind, and I'm like, if I ever get like nervous or whatever, and I have her in the back of my head, like, you can do it, like, you know. Uh, and I surprised myself with that a lot. As far as like inspiration, a lot of the stuff on the record is loosely inspired by like No Doubt.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
that's kind of like the vibe that the record gives off for the most part. Honestly, we really were just kind of going for this like early 2000s alternative aesthetic. Not necessarily like anybody in particular, but No Doubt does stand out a lot for me, specifically just because of like my sound and like the way that I sing in general. But yeah, like it's crazy how like the songs came together, because at first like we didn't even know we were doing a record. We just started with Why I Miss You came first.
Okay.
And it was just like me and Connor getting together, seeing how we work together, and like seeing what came out of it. Like I
Sure.
walked into the studio that day with like nothing, and we just like farted out a song, and it was just crazy. It was nutty. And after that, Crashbox came next, and it was me, Guy, and Connor. We all met up, and we're spitballing ideas, and Crashbox came for me because I was thinking about like a lot of stuff that I was kind of like dealing with at the time, and it reminded me of a show that I watched when I was little on HBO called Crashbox.
Yeah.
And I was like, I really want to like kind of talk about that like as if I'm talking about myself. And then we were just like, okay, now that we're on this roll, like, what's next? And then I brought Problem Child in, and Connor was like, all right, we need to make a record. Like, this is not anymore. You can't do this to me. And I was like, all right. So I saved up, and I worked really hard, and yeah. And I asked them to play with me in my band, and they said yes, and here we are.
I do feel like I'm glad you mentioned No Doubt, because I was trying to like wrap my head around like all the songs, and like vocally I'm like, okay, where is she pulling from? Because usually I have a pretty good idea of like, you know, sonically where bands kind of sit at. And I was like racking my brain, and I was like, there's someone I'm missing, and I couldn't think of it. And I was just sitting here at my computer desk like thinking about who it might be. And you know, as you mentioned, No Doubt, Gwen Stefani, you know, iconic woman of the time. For me, it's like, okay, I can put the parallels together and say like, yeah, you definitely have kind of like that Gwen Stefani-esque voice. I think I noticed it more in Up Again, where I was like, okay, she kind of is doing like that Gwen Stefani sort of stuff. But then also at the same point, I think you take a lot of inspiration from like, you know, modern like alt and like modern like pop sort of artists. I would say more like more of those like fringe artists that are like kind of like in the pop sphere, but like maybe are a little bit more derivative to like that outside. And I like that each song kind of has its own flavor to it. Crashbox, I think, I enjoyed the most out of all of them, just because it was like a little bit more like indie-esque, especially within like the instrumentals and stuff. And I think vocally your voice like wasn't as like comparatively to Up Again. I was like, okay, this is cool, this is different. And then I listened to Crashbox after that, and I was like, this is like she's doing something different but still fits within that like indie alternative sort of mode. And I was like, she's very like, she can change up her style on a whim, and I appreciate that. And I think comparatively to like the live version versus like a recorded version is always really cool to hear the difference of that. You know, obviously speaking on the album, do you have a particular favorite song? I know they're probably like your babies, but is there anyone?
No, but I do have a favorite, so that's a great question. And it's funny because the song that is my favorite doesn't have a live session, it doesn't have a music video.
Oh wow.
I figured that the song like said enough on its own, and it didn't really need anything. My favorite song on the album has to be 6 Years. Um, it just has a special place in my heart. I love singing it live. It's so much fun. I do this weird little bouncy, marchy thing when I sing, and I can't help it. I kind of like I do this weird thing with my. But you gotta come to a show. You'll see what I mean. Um, I kind of do this like little waddle thing, and it always breaks out during that song. I can't help it. My mom pointed it out to me actually. She was like, "You do this thing where you like shift your weight from your like toe to heel, and it's really cute. Like keep it up." And I was like, I didn't even know that I did that. But so yeah, that song I think lyrically also was something that I was really proud of for me because like you said, when I kind of change up the way that I'm singing and the way that I'm doing things, like obviously I play the piano and I play instruments, but my voice and my speech, those are my top two tools that I like to use.
Yeah.
And messing around with what I'm saying and how I say it or how I sing it is something that I get a kick out of. And I feel like in that song in particular, I do it both ways. Like I come in with these lyrics that like I really thought, obviously for all of the songs, like I really put like everything into it, but for that song in particular, like the lyric work I feel like was very near and dear to me. And then of course the experimenting that I did vocally for that song was another thing that I really enjoyed doing. So that one has to, it does it for me. The whole album is, is my baby, of course, but that song in particular has to be my favorite.
And I like I said, I like I'll have to see you live certainly to just get in the booth. But I think like the coolest thing comparatively to all of the songs, and I'll have to go and listen to the rest of it after we're done, but I think the thing that to me is that there's just such a way that the way that you do it live comparatively to like just a recorded music video where I imagine it's kind of fabricated a little bit. I mean, music videos are what they are, but I think seeing it live and then kind of getting that ultimate like flip side of the coin and seeing a music video and seeing how you kind of like have this way of like acting it out or like putting more emotion into it that would make sense if you watch the music video, but then also seeing a live and seeing that same sort of energy and that same sort of like fun, like there's a smile on your face as you're doing all of these songs. And I think for me, that's like that sort of contagious energy that I like seeing, not only because I imagine like, I wish I could be out in Jersey and see you guys play a show, but seeing it live in a studio setting and just seeing how you guys kind of all interact and have that sort of camaraderie, it's a really cool thing. So I would definitely recommend everybody go check out the links below to go watch them, but and also to pick up the record as well. But the next question I have for you is I love asking this one, but who are you currently jamming? What's on your Spotify? What are you listening to lately?
Ooh, good question. Okay, so I have two I'm a big playlist girl. I will make a playlist depending on where I'm at, and I made two recently that I've been flip-flopping.
I got you.
Yeah, so I have one that's more chilled out, has I feel like I'm gonna butcher her name, but it's Lizzie McAlpine. Is that?
I think you're correct. Yeah, we'll double check.
I just kind of got into it recently, because I listened to Ceilings, and another song called Stupid. Those are my two favorite songs right now, honestly, by her at least, and I've kind of just been flip-flopping from the two. But I'm a big Smiths girl. I'm a big Smiths girl. Yeah. And then I guess also I'm really into Deftones.
Wow.
I have a very like wide range of things that I like, you know what I mean? So I flip-flop a lot, and that's why I make these big like 10-hour long playlists, so I have like all of it in there. So I have a playlist with like heavier stuff, which it's like Deftones, Pierce the Veil, some like glitchcores in there. There's some like Dance Gavin Dance in there.
Wow.
Uh,
All right. All right.
there's like a lot of stuff in that one, and that's kind of my like feral playlist where I'm like, I need to kind of like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I have the more chilled out playlist, which is like Phoebe Bridgers and like Biba Doobie and Lizzie McAlpine and fucking the girl, oh, what is her name? Oh, Faye Webster.
Oh,
And
nice. Okay.
yeah, and all of those kind of like chilled out, like Nora Jones, like all of that kind of stuff. Because like I said, I listen to pretty much everything but country and mumble rap. Everything else, like fair game to me. I love it. I love getting new music. Like, something that I really enjoy is like me and Connor will send each other stuff because like we constantly, like, he'll send me stuff that like reminds him of like my style or just like something
Sure.
that I would be interested in. Like, he put me on to Super American.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, I'm obsessed with them. It's so like when he showed me that, like 2 days later, I was like, why would you do this to me? I have earworms so bad. You know, their streams probably skyrocketed after you showed me
Just
that because I cannot stop. That's another one. Like, I can't and won't stop. It's an addiction that doesn't hurt anybody.
I feel that. I'm kind of like whenever I ask this question, it's always I'm very much the same way. Like I may, ironically enough, as the YouTube name suggests, I very much am addicted to audio. So like I do love getting new bands, new ways to like listen to music, and so whenever I ask this question, I always love hearing names that I haven't heard personally and then I can go check out. So, I appreciate that for, giving me some good ones. I was very surprised that you would say Deftones because as as your music suggests, it's kind of more in that like indie kind of lane, and I would have never. But that's like the beauty of music. It's like I would have never thought you would be into that sort of style of music. But now, now I just want to have like a Babie Julez like heavy record, and I just want to be able to like soak that in. So guys, Connor, Guy,
It's a possibility. I'll say that much.
there we go.
I'm always messing around with the way that I do things, so that's definitely not out of the equation.
Oh, there we go. All right, I'll be keeping my eyes and ears peeled then. Babie Julez, as you mentioned earlier, you said you came from, your family's very musical. How much of that kind of affected your love of music? Because I imagine, like, for myself, like, my family is very much into, like, classic rock and stuff like that, and that's what ultimately, like, branched me off into, getting into the music that I like now, currently. Do you feel that just because there was, like, this instant love of wanting to like either play music or like pick up an instrument or something like that, do you feel like that affected the way that you were like, oh man, I need to do this, like, and I'm glad that your parents and your family are like, do it up?
Yeah, super supportive. I'm beyond grateful. I definitely do think that they even had influence on like my style as well, I would say, because my dad, both of my parents were like grungy people, and I love grunge music. But also like my dad was in a metal band, right? So of course, like that's kind of where my interest to all of the hollering comes from, and all of that like punk style kind of thing, like gangy rock, like turnstile kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's why I'm into it, I would say, because I was more of a like a dad's girl growing up, so I would like sit with my dad and like listen to all of that like stuff, and my mom, not only was she into grunge, but she also like really liked disco and like pop music, and
nice. Yeah,
I'm very into synth pop, like the 1975 stuff like that, and like when I was younger I didn't want to hear it, and she would like show me stuff, but nowadays like I'll circle back to it, and she'll hear me upstairs, like, listening to something. She's like, "I showed you that years ago. You don't want to give me credit, but I did show you that." And I'm like, "No, you did. Like, you definitely did." But and so it's kind of like that, like, weird in between of like the two extremes. And I was actually talking to Connor about this the other day because we were in a writing session, and I said I feel like I sit in this weird gray area between like grunge and pop music, and
Yeah,
I'm kind
yeah.
of weird, like, gray area, which is great because I love, excuse my French, but I love fucking around. Like, I love
It's all
it. I
good.
love being able to experiment and try new things, and not really like slap a label on what I do and feel married to it. Um, and I definitely have, you know, my parents are definitely at fault for that, which is great, which is so great, and they're definitely the reason why I'm so weird. But it's a good thing. It's a great thing.
But and I think that's really cool to me, at least, because now, like, I think kind of putting it in that context of like, okay, well, my dad is very much in that like sort of grunge and metal and like rock direction, and my
Mhm.
mom's more in that like pop disco, but still has some grunge aspects, and then just
Mhm.
kind of merging those two worlds now, like the
Yeah.
music that you make makes more sense to me. And I imagine, I'd hope that this interview maybe enlightens other people to understand that like you're kind of that crossover of like grunge pop and like a smidge of like metal and stuff like that. and
Yeah.
and I like that. I think that that's really cool, and if anything, I think it opens new horizons to like want to do something different, because like you could go in that heavier route and do something heavier, but then you could also like branch off and do something more like pop, a little bit more indie related. And
Mhm.
I think it just makes it more versatile, and I think as a fan, I like seeing that when a artist is just that way of being like, okay, I can do whatever I want to kind of do, and I hope that my fans can respect or understand what I want to do this time around. And who knows, maybe I'll circle back to more of the pop route, but maybe I'm feeling like I want to do something more heavy, or like, or the vice versa of that. And I think it's a cool thing, and I hope that as future Babie Julez music is very variety filled.
That you can definitely count on, honestly. I feel like with every project that I do, there's a song for everyone on there, always. Like with this album, with the next thing on my conveyor belt, and then and the new stuff that I'm working on now. Um, there's always going to be a song for everyone. Like if you like indie music, there's a song for you. If you like pop music, synth pop, there's a song for you. If you like heavier stuff, there's a song for you. Even if you like folk music, there's a song. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like the goal that I had with my stuff, was to create like a safe space for people to come to and listen to something that, you know, helps them flush out their feelings or
Sure,
whatever
yeah.
they're kind of like, listen to it and be like, this was what I wanted to hear today. This is what I needed to hear right now. And I'm glad that there was something for me. Like, it's not just like one thing. And that's honestly, like, I'm so grateful that nowadays, like, so many artists are just kind of like genre bending and
Oh yeah.
all, like, meshing and stuff like that, because it leaves room for people like me to kind of just like take that and like run around like rampant with it.
Well, again, best of luck. I mean, the new record is Chef's Kiss right now. Really been digging it,
So,
and I'll leave it below so everybody can go stream it. Please go follow Babie Julez on Spotify. That's where you'll find out about the latest music. But the next question I have for you is a fun one. If you could pick a song to cover, what would it be?
oh my gosh. Okay. Can I pick more than one?
Ooh, okay. I like that. Do it up.
Okay. So for my release show, we did Just a Girl by No Doubt, of course.
Ooh. Oh yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
there is a live version of that will be coming soon enough. We did a few live sessions. We didn't just do one. So there's more coming. Um,
Love it.
but I really do like the song Super Vixen by Garbage. That's a good one. That's a sick song. I also really like Talk by Biba Doobie. Is that it? I think for now that's it.
There we go. Well, guys, if you have any suggestions for Babie Julez, drop them in the comments. She'll
Oh
check them
yes.
out. Who knows? Maybe they might
Well,
wind up on a live session. I can't confirm or deny it, but might happen. But the next question I have for you is, I hate asking this question, but I'm just so curious by it. The name Babie Julez, where did this come from? Because it seems like there's a story behind it.
there is.
Okay.
So of course, like my real name is Julia, and there's no story behind Jules really, except for the fact that's what everybody calls me. But Babie kind of came about because of honestly like the innocence behind my music,
Okay.
and that was something that I was kind of branded in high school, and I kind of like took it, and like I just thought it had a ring to it. Like when I was in this like girl group of friends,
Okay.
and I kind of wasn't really at the same like level of experience as them, whether it was like partying or boys or whatever. So they would kind of they would call me the baby. They'd be like, "Oh, like the baby's coming, guys, the baby's coming. Like who's babysitting?" Like, and it was kind of like, and like even my name in people's contacts was the baby, or like Little Afanito, because that's my last name. Because everybody knew who my sister was, and she's older than me, so it would be like the baby, like the little one. And it kind of just like stuck. Like like nobody even called me by my name at one point. Like they were like like the baby. Um, and
God.
I kind of just, when I was thinking about my music and I was thinking about my first release, I was just kind of like, what is it going under? And I was talking to my mom, and she was like, she asked me something, and she was like, "Baby, do you da 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 da?" Like I don't remember what she said to me, but I was like, "Hold up," and I was so used to being called that I just kind of like took the two and sandwiched it, and I actually had stuff released under just Babie, but Babie Julez just kind of like made a lot more sense to me,
Sure.
and just recently we kind of rebranded my Spotify and my Apple Music, and everything's Babie Julez now, but for the longest time it was just under Babie, which was Babie. So that's why like all of my stuff like is on a new thing. But yeah, I just kind of like, you know, am the baby. You know, I'm the baby of my family. Well, not anymore because I have like baby cousins now, but I was for a while. Not anymore, but whatever. It's fine. We'll just pretend that that's not a thing. And I was like the baby of my friends, and everybody kind of calls me Baby or Jules, and I also think that like since I come from a place like in my writing style that has this like innocence to it, it just kind of made sense.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
because I feel like very cartoony in the way that I am. I feel very childlike in the way that I present myself, in the way that I express myself, and even in the way that I sing, and just how I am. I'm just a big old baby. Like honestly, that's really like I just kind of am. Like I'm very sensitive. You know, I like to be very loud and expressive, and I just kind of really am a big baby. That's really that's what it is.
Oh my God. And honestly, I thought it was funny too because like I feel like some of your stuff it's very like dichotomous because you're like, okay, Babie Julez, you're like maybe it might be like, you know, like sugar coated or like pop, you know, right? And then you go to check out your music and it is not sugar coated. It is not like
Mm?
it's just like completely unleashed. And I like that. I think that's how I initially interpreted it as like, okay, she's
It's not
playing
what
off.
it's just like great.
Yeah, it's like this innocence, like where you're like, okay, a baby, like, you know, a baby's like, you know, a baby. But in the same aspect, like just how like I don't. It's gonna sound terrible the way that I explain it, but it's like there's this tinged lyrics. Like there's these things that you say, like amongst some of the lyricism of your songs, where I'm like, okay, like if you think about it from her name being Babie Julez, like you wouldn't think that someone who is innocent would say those sorts of things, but now it's
Mhm.
like, okay, now it makes sense. So it's very
But babies cry, babies
babies
scream, and
cry. Yep,
babies throw tantrums.
that's
And
true.
that's kind of, in some of those songs where I'm like saying things and kind of alluding to certain things and cursing or yelling and whatever, it's really just kind of like a caricature of my experiences growing up. And I like to describe the album as like the soundtrack to a coming of age film, if it obviously was about me. Like if there was a coming of age film about me, like that would be the soundtrack to it. Um, you know what I mean? And it's very like it starts off very like with Why I Miss You, like very soft and very innocent, and it kind of, you listen to it as it goes along, and I talk about all of these different things, and there's so many different like layers to it. Um, where it's like obviously I love the element of surprise, but it's just very me, and I feel like
Sure,
I'm
yeah,
I'm a lot of things, and even though I have this like innocence to me, there's always like a desire to grow up or not,
yeah.
so it's kind of like me just doing it, doing the
Fi-
thing, saying what I feel, and that's honestly what babies do.
Finding your way through life, I think it was kind of for me. It was like there's just even though I haven't listened to all of it and just in order, which I think would help out a lot certainly, but I think it's just this way of you navigating through some difficult periods of your life, and you can kind of see if how the songs are laid out or arranged, how like the trajectory goes, like from like from like early on to like, oh okay, now we're getting into some serious shit, like, and that's cool. I like that as being old as shit. Like I love the fact that there is this album out there that to me speaks about my, at least what I would imagine is like my early to mid 20s, where I was just like, I don't know what to fucking do with my life,
Yep.
and that and I
I
like that I
just
can
turned 20, so I get it. I get it. I'm in that weird in between of like I'm not really an adult, but I'm not a kid either. Just kind of here.
yeah, and I think now that I think about it, as I am going to be turning 30 next year, like I think for me it's like, okay, like you've kind of put this like you've kind of put into words how most people I'd imagine now in their 20s are, where again that made me feel super old. I just want to let you know, Jules. But it makes you think like, oh my god, like that's how I felt in my early 20s, which was like, I don't fucking know what to do, but like here we're going to live out all the things that we've lived out, and hopefully can learn from it and grow from it. And I think that you encapsulate some of those emotions that I think I even felt as growing up and being in my 20s. So I want to give you kudos for that, because
Thank
I
you.
I think that's difficult in some aspects, especially with the way that the way that the emotions kind of ride throughout the record. So very cool. Love the cover choices again, to kind
Yeah.
of diverge back onto the path, but love that. So the next question I have for you, Jules, is my personal favorite as well. What is your favorite food to eat? What's your go-to?
Ooh. Hmm. Okay. Mm, okay. I really, really, really like Mediterranean food. Love it.
All right, all
Love
right.
it. So good. I don't know what it's called, but there's like the little bowls, and it's kind of like a burrito bowl, but it's not. It's like when you go to like the gyro places and you get the
Oh yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about. Yes. Oh my god.
so good. There's this place by my house that's like Mediterranean food, and we, oh, it's so good. They used to do this like buffet at like 2 o'clock, and my mom and I, when I was in high school, I would play hooky, and we would go, we would go all the time, all the time. That was like our hooky spot. Like that was Oh my god, I love it. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
I love how your definition of like playing hooky from school is going to a Mediterranean spot to eat. Respect, respect. Game respects game, but love that. The next question I have for you, Jules, if you could pick somebody to collaborate with on an up and coming Babie Julez record, who would you love to collaborate with, just as a guest feature?
Now, is this like anybody in general, or like one of my like an artist that's like a little bigger than me?
I'll give you two options that you can give me two answers for. The first being someone who's local that you've always wanted to work with that you haven't yet. And the other one is like the manifestation, the one that you want to put out into the world and want to say this is the one I'd love to collaborate with.
Okay, interesting. So lately, I've been collaborating with a lot of local artists, which
Very
is
cool.
that I'm very very grateful for. Of course, like there was the Babie Julez Idol Wave song, and I actually today met up with Greg from Flycatcher,
Oh, very
and
cool.
yeah, and we kind of like spit up a little bit of a little something something. So that's a thing which I was so excited about when I found out that he wanted to work with me. Um, but another artist like locally that I would love to work with, and it definitely will happen, is Modern Chemistry.
Ooh,
I
yes.
First of all, I'm playing their release show. So like, come on, guys. I DM'd Joe and I was like, so I'm playing the show with you, but like, what about a collab? And he was like, no, I'm so down. And I was like, so like say that because I'm not kidding.
It's in the DMs,
Um,
guys. It's real.
yeah, like don't play, like don't play. Um, that's something that I'm very very determined on making happen. Maybe for like the next thing. Like it's gotta
Joe.
be a thing by the next thing or I'm rioting. um and then I guess like a manifestation, I would say I love the 1975. I think I would simply pass away. I think I would just die. I would die. Um but as far as like my sound goes, like someone that I think I would sound good with, I think that if I ever did a song with Chloe Moriando, the world would just explode. Like the world would cease to exist. Like everything would just disintegrate. like, like I'm.
Those are some high stakes,
That
Jules.
just would be so sick. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with that because that would be so cool. I used to watch her YouTube videos and sit there and be like, oh, she's so fucking cool. And now that she's doing all of this stuff, like it's so cool to see. And it kind of like gives me like hope and ammo and in doing what I do and being like, okay, well if she can do it, so can I. You know what I mean? Like I think it's really just you just gotta keep doing it.
Oh,
And hopefully by like the next time we get to meet, I like we're at another landmark or we've hit another checkpoint or like I'm I feel like I take these little steps and I get so excited and it just keeps getting bigger and better and the music is there and it's just exciting.
I got you. Listen, I can speak on this doing YouTube for almost 7 years now. I can speak. It's a journey, but honestly, it's a journey that if you are dedicated to it and you do love it, then honestly, I will never like if I stop doing it tomorrow, I would know that I have fulfilled everything that I've wanted to do as a person. So I'd imagine very similarly to what you're doing, each day is like this great thing, and obviously I hope best of luck with your career, and I'm excited to just watch what you're doing, and obviously I hope we grow together, so that would be great.
Oh,
But very excited for what you got. So guys, listen, if you want to make Jules's reality a reality, what you do is you go on to twitter.com where everything happens, and you type in Babie Julez on Twitter, and then you also tag the 1975 Modern
oh
Chemistry, Flycatcher, and Chloe. I don't remember her last name, and I don't want to butcher it. So Moriando, Chloe Moriando, and then they do like this super big collab feature, super groove, whatever you want to call it, collab.
I just thought of another one because you said super, and I have to say it now. Super American.
And Super American, I knew it. Super American too. So listen, we throw them all in a blender with Babie Julez, and then they're gonna
smoothie, nice little Babie Julez smoothie.
Yes.
A Babie Julez.
A baby.
I'm sorry.
I'm not even gonna say it. We can create the most beautiful of drinks. So guys, make it happen. It's real. If it's on Twitter, it's real. So, you know, again, I don't make the rules here, so I'm just gonna let that ride. We're gonna let that ride. But
absolutely.
The next question I have for you, Julez, as I am curious to know, obviously you sing, but if there was another musical instrument you could master, what would it be?
I would love to just shred. I would love to be able to really shred the guitar. I know a little bit that I've taught myself.
Ooh, all right.
I'm not at a level where I'm like there.
I got you.
I probably won't play it for anything until I feel like I have gotten to a place where I'm confident in, and that's not necessarily something that I'm confident in just yet. I would love to master the guitar. I would love to be able to kind of just that'd be so sick. Like, I would look so cool.
I would agree. Yeah.
Even that, it's just like being able to just have my. It would aid my writing a lot as well, because I've written songs with the little bit that I do know on the guitar. And for my like bedroom project, I did play 2 of the guitar tracks on there.
Oh, very cool. Okay.
Yeah. And I did it because I really wanted to push myself. I really wanted to challenge myself, and I was like, just to say that I did it. You know, it doesn't have to be anything crazy, monumental. Like, one of the songs, it's called Life is Stormy. It was just a simple guitar progression that I just practiced my butt off. And I was like, I'm gonna record it. Like, I'm gonna be the one to play it. And that's kind of my little baby step to learning more and doing more. But yeah, I think that would be something really cool to do.
There we go. Well, guys, next time Babie Julez is on, she's gonna give us a ripping guitar solo. You know, just all the way up the neck. 10 stars. You know, massive. We're gonna see a massive rock track. I'm so stoked. You know, so I don't want to say that I'm making it happen, but you know, I want to say it'd be very cool.
God's ears.
The next question I have for you, Julez, is a personal favorite of mine. I don't know how this question's gonna land, so I'm very curious on this. I'm a huge nerd, so I love to ask this question. If you could be a video game character, who would you be?
Ooh, okay. I only play a few games, so this answer,
it's all right.
Answer might not be the greatest, but damn. Oof. Okay. I feel like I would be Kirby, but I don't. I feel like I'd be Kirby. Yeah.
I love it. I love that for you.
Would, yeah.
This is great. We love it.
A little pink thing running around causing a ruckus.
It would make sense, you know. I feel like Kirby is like that cute character that you're like, man, I don't feel like he can do a lot, and then he like sucks up an entire like town, you know. So, you know, cute but destructive.
That's the effect that I've had since I'm a little girl, where like when I was younger, I was really little. Like, I was very short. I was very like scrawny, and then I would sing. I would open my mouth and I would sing, and people would be like, "Who is that girl? Who? No, she's not. That is not happening." And I remember doing a show for Christmas, and one of the parents told my mom they were like, the Holy Ghost just got into Julia. Like, I don't know what is happening with your daughter, man. She just started singing. She was like, this big thing. You know what I mean? And I definitely do think that that's kind of like the shock factor that I have, especially with the name Babie and like the things that I do and say, and I come out with this big, you know, presence for such a small girl. That's why I gotta wear my platform shoes. So
Respect.
Like, so it makes sense.
Yeah, so you can just have that energy.
Be bigger.
Be bigger. I love it. I love that for you, Jules. That's great. Great answer.
Inches, Guy and Connor fucking tower over me.
Guy and I think, are pretty close in height.
They're tall as fuck.
I think I'm shorter than he is, but a little bit. I haven't seen Guy in a couple years though. He might have just. Guy,
Yeah.
tell me how tall you are in the comment. I want to know.
I'm pretty sure, because we took a practice video like of one of our like rehearsals before the show.
Okay.
Like look at and stuff like that, and he was like, so little. Like I have to stand further back. It was the funniest thing. Like even the way that he said it was hilarious. He goes, I need to like stand in like a different spot, or like Connor needs to move back a little bit. Like you look so little. Like he sounded so like concerned. He was like, we're like towering over you. You look so small. I was like, I mean, you guys are like 6 something, and I'm 5'3". Like,
Yeah, that is quite the height difference. I think I'm like kind of probably in between. Guys, I'm like 5'8", so I'm like in between that 6. I'm not tall. I know people. You can't see like the lower half of me, so you know. But what were you saying, Jules?
Oh, you're taller than me, so that's what.
Oh. Okay. Oh my God, that's great. But I love the answer. Very much in the lane, you know, respect. So love that.
Love Epic Yard. Very fun game. Love that
Chef's
game.
Kiss. It's a great game. Great game. The next question I have for you, Jules, if you were to compile a dream tour lineup, including Babie Julez, who would be on it?
Oof. Okay. Interesting. A dream tour lineup. Now, how many bands are on this bill?
Am I feeling generous today? That's the question. Yeah, I think I am. So we'll do, including you, 4 other slots. 4. Count them 4.
Now, I'm going to give you 2 answers.
Love it.
Because I'm going to do a local tour.
All right.
Like manifestation tour.
Respect.
Okay. So local would be me, Idlewave, Flycatcher, and Super American.
Ooh, like I love it.
Tour to be on with local artists. I fuck with those bands so hard. I love their stuff. I'm so happy to be in their world. And then manifestation tour would be like Babie Julez, the 1975, Inhaler.
Ooh, all right, okay.
And Door Ajar. That would be sick. I would die happy.
I like that. That's great.
You can see that show, right?
I would go. Guys, pre-sale tickets below. Let's go. Let's go. We're starting it right now. Buy the tickets from Babie Julez. Let's go. Tour now. World tour. All the continents, all the cities, all the towns. Let's go. You can buy them now. That wasn't a rhyme. I'm not very good at that stuff. But the next question I have for you, Jules, kind of in the same lane. I'm sure you've seen a lot of artists play live, but in your opinion, who puts on a great performance?
I mean, I've seen, out of all the concerts that I've been to, I've only seen one band twice.
Ooh, okay.
And this was 21 Pilots. And I do think that they put on a really fucking great show. You know, I will always have a soft spot for those boys. Those are my boys, man. I love them. Since the 8th grade, like, I was obsessed. Both times that I saw them live, I cried. The second time that I saw them live, I snuck into the pit. I don't know how I didn't get caught. But I had no wristband,
5'3".
Because I was ducking under
Yeah,
everybody.
you're just like,
I was just, like, squirming. But,
SEAL Team 6, you know?
Oh, yeah, and I would do it again.
Oh, I don't know if that's something you want to admit in a video, but we'll
I wouldn't do it again.
Wouldn't do
No, but they do put on a really, really good show. And then I also got the ability to see Dora Jar open up for Billie Eilish. And that set was so sick. I love her. I'm obsessed with her. I love her. Like, I want to see, I could have been, like, yeah, like, I didn't even know she was on the tour, because I think it was supposed to be Willow Smith or something. And,
oh, wow.
Like, because she, like, released something with Machine Gun Kelly. I don't really know what happened, but she couldn't come. So Dora Jar took her place. And I had no idea who she was, and I literally became a fan that night.
Love it.
I was like, I love this girl. I could have literally went home after her set and been happy. But of course, like, you know, we saw Billie, but I could have, like, literally gone to the show for her and been fine. Like, that set was so sick, and she was just so fun to watch, and it was just genuine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you love it.
That's something that, like, I feel like when I perform, I want to create that, like, genuine, like, good feeling.
I feel that.
For the audience and with the band, and have that togetherness, that sense of, like, unity. And for the release show that we had, it was, the vibes were immaculate. Like,
I can't agree. I did see some clips on your Instagram, and I was like, man, yeah. Everybody seemed like they were having a good time. You know, Julez was doing her, like, you know, her vibes, the vibe dance, you know, respect, you know, and I was like, this seems like, she seems like she's having a good time up there. And I think for me, as, like, someone who has seen a lot of shows in my lifetime thus far, like, it's always cool to see an artist just, like, having a good time. I think that's, like, what makes me just, like, enjoy a performance that much more, if they get just so invested. They love the crowd interaction. If there's, like, versus, like, if they have, like, one person in the audience, or they're, like, it's just a whole that crowd, like, they still put on that same energy. And, you know, I feel like you carry that same sort of energy, where you're like, listen, there could be 5 people in the room, there could be, like, 5,000 people in the room, and I'm still gonna bring the heat, you know. So I respect that. So I'll have to see for myself, you know. Julez, you have to come out to the Philadelphia area. That would be,
I want to play Philly so bad. So yes, I will make it happen.
Thank you.
And then you'll be the first to find out.
Bless. Love it. Guys, if Philly promoters,
come on, Philly,
holler at me, or Babie Julez, one of us, both of us, who knows, but we gotta make it happen. The next question I have for you, Julez: favorite TV show, favorite movie?
Favorite TV show, New Girl.
Oh,
love New Girl. Favorite movie, Labyrinth with David Bowie.
Ooh, nice. All right.
Oh, such a good movie. I have the soundtrack on vinyl. I have the little worm that was on, like, the wall. It's like I have a stuffy of the worm, and then I also have, like, the ball thing that he does the stuff with.
Oh, wow.
I could watch that movie over and over again and not get sick of it. Like, the editing cracks me up, I will say, because it's old, but I love that movie.
That's awesome. I love that. That sounds great. Also, as someone who recently finished New Girl season 1 to the last season, chef's kiss. We love it. It's great. You know, who doesn't love, like, Zooey Deschanel? We love Nick Miller. Chef's kiss. You know, it's all great. So, guys, watch New Girl. But also, more specifically, go check out Babie Julez, because you already know she loves the New Girl. So you know you're gonna love her music. The next question I have for you, Julez: if you were trapped on a desert island for the next month, and there was one album you could bring with you to listen to, what album would that be?
OK Computer, Radiohead.
Oh, wow. I love that. Okay.
Yeah. My
I need
mom got me it on vinyl for my birthday, and I literally will just like put it in, flip it again, just flip it again, just keep flipping it. Love it.
respect.
But
Honestly, I'm waiting for Baby Julez on vinyl. You know, listen, my collection
yes,
is pretty extensive, so I'd love to have Baby Julez on vinyl. Hopefully soon.
I gotta get that. Let's stream the music first, and then I'll make a vinyl.
Listen, I'll put it on before I go to
And then
bed,
when
you
we
know.
get there, I'll make vinyls.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna
Bless. You know, I'll just put it
do.
on. I'll just put it on before I go to sleep, you
Oh
know,
yeah,
just rack
turn
up
it on a loop. That's
rack
fine.
up the Spotify streams, you
Fine
know.
by
So,
me.
and also you guys should go check out Baby Julez and then rack up the streams with me, so then we all can collectively get vinyl, because that's the end goal, you know.
Like I know you want Bug Eyed Girl on vinyl.
Oh,
Come
we love it. We love it. We love it. Um, the last question that I kind of round out all of my interviews with Jules, which again appreciate you spending the time with me.
for having
Um,
me.
oh, no problem. But you know, for people who maybe aren't familiar with you as a person, and I hope that this interview has unlocked those truths for them. What do you want people to take away from Baby Julez as you, your artistry, what you do, whether it be from like kind of a lyrical perspective, music, or kind of the combination of the two? Like, what do you want people to walk away from after they listen to your music?
Honestly, I feel like, of course, like what resonates with you is what's gonna resonate with you, and the feelings that you get from each song is gonna be catered to the person that's listening to it.
Sure.
But I want it to be a positive experience, and I always kind of want something that I say a lot is to kind of have more fun and not take things so seriously, because we're literally just on a floating rock in the middle of space, and being in touch with your inner child is something that is so beyond important. And I talk about it enough again, how I just want to be in touch with the younger version of myself that like didn't just had no fucks to give. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I want people to listen to my stuff and be like, yeah, like I need to have more fun. I need to give less of a fuck, because I don't want to go get old and realize that I had no fun. I mean, that's not to say you can't have fun when you're old, but like you want the whole movie to be good, not just the end of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You want the whole album to be good, not just the last song. So I want people to listen to me and watch me have fun doing what I do, and hopefully that inspires them to have a little more fun. Like push certain limiting beliefs that they have, and things that they're capable of, and things that they can and can't do, and kind of just like squash it, and like
Mm-hmm.
tell that like voice in your head that tells you that you can't, to fuck off. You know what I mean? Wear what you want to wear, do what you want to do, be bold, say what you want to say. You know what I mean? There's no reason to kind of hold back. Fuck holding back. That's not. We don't do that here. We don't do that here. You know what I mean? We're gonna have fun while we're here, and that's kind of what I want people to take away from my stuff. Yeah.
That's probably the most eloquent way to say, just live your life. I think for me, like, I'm very animated. I use my hands. I probably think I'm probably part Italian, even though I'm not. I just talk with my hands. But I think the thing for me is, like, I always love.
Self-proclaimed Italian.
Thank you. Thank you. I think for me, it's like, the way that music makes me feel is like I'm a kid again, and I don't
Yes.
I think that's what I hope that people take away from this record, Bug Eyed Girl, which you can check below. I do feel like there's just like this, again, there's this level of just like fun energy that you can feel, and then once you compare it to some of the music videos, some of the stuff that she's done, the lives, all of those things, you can get a better sentiment, better idea of like, this is just fun overall. Like, obviously live your life however you want to live it, enjoy your life, whether you're like 20 years old or you're 65 years old. It's a matter of mentality and how you want to live and how you want to kind of live your life, and so I feel like Julez nailed it with this the album as a whole. It's just a fun vibe, and I'm excited to delve into it more once we get off.
I'm excited to hear what your favorite song is when you've heard the whole thing.
All right, I'll send you that Instagram DM and let you know which one is the one. But funnily enough, the perfect segue, Julez, is the last thing, the most important thing, probably the reason why you're on here. Tell the people where they can find Babie Julez at, where they can check out Bug-Eyed Girl, and anything else you'd like to plug, talk about. This is going to be out like the first week of October, so roughly around that point.
So you can find me, Babie Julez, on TikTok, Babie Julez. You can find me on Instagram, Babie Julez_. You can find me on YouTube, Babie Julez. You can find me on Spotify, Apple Music, under Babie Julez. If you want to watch some really sick videos, like I said, my YouTube, I'm everywhere, and I am Babie Julez.
She's everywhere, as you said. Her name's Babie Julez. Go check the links in the description where you can find out about her music, her artistry. I'm sure there's merch coming if there isn't already, so go pick that up. There is merch.
First batch of merch at my release show. Right now it's kind of like at the shows, but hopefully I'll get that online soon enough once I get the hang of the merch thing. Once I get the hang of it, maybe I'll sell it online.
There you go. Well,
right now, come to the show and cop that cool bug merch.
There you go.
We do the bug stuff here, so get that bug.
You're gonna get the bug.
If you're afraid of bugs, I can't help you with that. I do have a design that's a binky, if that is your vibe.
Bugs and binkies. That I've never thought I would say those sentences together. But bugs and binkies. If you like that on your merch, go. You gotta rep that stuff. So if you want to rep it, you go see Babie Julez in New Jersey when she has shows. But the best way you can find out about that is by following her on social media. So that will all be down below. Go follow her on social media. Go follow her on Spotify. As I mentioned before, it's the best way to know when Babie Julez releases a new track. So you definitely should do that. As well as I'll leave a link to her YouTube channel. Go watch all of her music videos. They're shot by our lovely friend, Chris Kunchak. Big love to Chris. The king of New Jersey. King of music videos, I'd argue. So go check out Chris's stuff.
The king of the New Jersey likes. He does everybody's stuff.
He is a savior.
If you've seen a video, I bet you any amount of money that he filmed it.
Yes, big ups to Chris. We love him. But please go check out Babie Julez. Love talking with her, and honestly, I think you'll love her music. So go do it. If you enjoyed this interview, share, like, and subscribe. It goes a long way. It would be greatly appreciated if you did that. So please go do that. And huge thanks to
follow for more amazing interviews and more fun. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, follow him first, and then go follow me.
Do it simultaneously. Click the follows at the same time. Both at the same time. So do it up. And again, huge thanks to Julez for coming on tonight and chatting with me.
Thanks for having me.
All right.